back at it again with another banger. We're gonna be reacting to the It's Complicated channel. Um, is Victim or the Prize: Roles of Modern Dating.
When it comes to dating and relationships, who is typically seen as the prize, the man or the woman?
The woman.
Ooh, the woman for sure.
The woman.
The woman. The woman.
So if the woman is the prize, what would that make the man?
The wallet.
Wow, the wallet. That's crazy.
Doesn't that place the man at a lower value and status to the woman?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't women typically want to date a man on her level or higher?
Yes.
Yes.
So don't women typically want to date a man who's a prize and not a loser?
Yes.
No, I like to be better.
So if a woman declares herself the prize, isn't that relationship destined to fail?
No.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily. It depends on who she's dating. If she's dating a guy who, puts women on a pedestal and sees them as like the end all be all, then that's on them. And whatever works for them, as long as they're happy, they're happy. But a guy who knows his worth, they're not gonna go for that.
Well, if the woman is the prize, wouldn't that make the man a simp?
Yes, and there are
Yeah.
simps in this world. Like there are high value men and other people who respect themselves.
But do you think that women want to date a simp?
Some women do. Some women want to be alpha and a boss bitch.
Yes.
I mean,
Rebecca
it
Stone.
depends on the male. If the male is like a beta, then he just gonna suck it up and follow behind the female. But if he's an alpha, he gonna be like, I'm not taking that.
Because I know I'm a prize. And so I think that a man should value me for what I am.
So why do so many women go around declaring themselves the prize?
Because they have pussies. It's much harder to find a high value man than it is an average
To
woman.
find a beautiful woman,
I can
yes.
a girl out here, but for her to find a man who has clout, status, money, influence, all that personality and whatnot, is way harder. Who's funny,
It's rare.
tall, 6 foot, physical specimen, it's way harder for her.
Baby daddies are everywhere, or sugar babies are everywhere, but sugar mamas are not. They're rare. They're a commodity. Shut up, little bitch. Oh God.
for her to find
I'm
that.
shitter.
Why do so many
Wanna
women
play
think they
DVD
have
in a
golden
bit?
pussy when every woman has one?
Entitlement. Name of the game. Straight up.
Do you believe in gender equality?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How can men and women ever be equal if pussy costs more money than dick?
I honestly don't think we will ever be equal. I think that is a dream that we would love to have, and that's something that we can pursue and fight for. But I don't truly think that we will
Bet.
ever be treated the same.
Just
I
call
don't
me
think
on
that's
Discord.
possible.
How likely will women pay for dick or make pussy free?
I don't think they will ever have to pay for dick because I feel like men just always want it, so we could just get it whenever we want. Versus men can't necessarily get it whenever they want.
So then what are we fighting for?
Equal pay.
Oh my God, that goddamn wage gap is a myth, bro. Come on now.
Women,
Don't tell me equal pay. Men get paid more because of the jobs that they do and the fact that statistically men work more time.
It's kind of one of those things that like women should love their bodies, should do what they want.
Not to mention, most females don't even do like hard labor work. They go into like nursing or accounting or assistants. They're not doing the jobs that are actually like dangerous, like a volcanologist or fucking doing the oil rigs underwater. Like they're not doing anything that's like labor. Yeah, exactly. It's hard labor.
With their bodies, and I mean,
Like the wage gap's been debunked
I guarantee you, if you walk
times.
up to more men on this strip, they are more willing to fuck you than a woman would.
Is it easier for women to sell sex than men?
Yes.
I mean, men could do gay porn. That makes hella money.
They can do gay porn, but I actually have gay friends that, like, a couple of them are on OnlyFans. It's not easier for them to make money. They may have a better demographic to give their content to, but not every person that sells sexual provocative photos is going to make it. Whereas a woman, as long as you're a good-looking woman, you can sell feet pics and get a bag off it.
Money.
Is it harder for a man to get the woman he wants into bed or for a woman to get the man she wants to commit?
Harder for a man to get the woman he wants in bed. Most dudes are lame. They don't have game. They're not cool. They're not funny, smart, tall, handsome, all that shit. They don't have money. It's harder for them. A woman can most dudes she wants to holler at.
Woman to get the man she wants to command, I would say.
If women think men are trash, why are they so interested in getting his commitment?
I mean, good.
Maybe for security.
A lot of these bitches don't be like feeling like they gotta be like wife material, baby. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Even if you do what you do in the streets, baby. Yeah, you do. You gotta cook. You gotta clean. You gotta do all that. You feel me? You gotta abide by your man's rules. You gotta bow down. You gotta do. You feel me? Like I don't know. Like it's a lot.
Why will women often withhold sex when men have a stronger
I low-key hate bitches that use like in every single word in their sentence.
biological need for sex than women?
That's their only way of power. That's how they can control relationships and sex.
Should men withhold attention and resources when men are unhappy with women?
Yes.
Not all, but a lot of women will leverage sex over men, so is it fair for a man to leverage attention and resources over women?
I don't think it's fair either way. However, I do think that when it comes to sex, that it should be a consensual thing regardless. So if someone doesn't want to, then they shouldn't have to, no matter what. Relationship either.
Or
Either
shouldn't
way.
feel pressured to.
Yeah.
Why do women pride themselves on manipulation as a skill when they already control what men want?
Not all women have that ability. I mean, manipulation, I mean, I can do it, but like a woman, they can do about anything they want, you know? Because men are dumb enough to fucking pay for it, or men are dumb enough to do it.
Right, but just like not all women can do it, not all men can afford to pay for it, or would pay for it, right? What is the best and the worst thing about being a woman?
The best and the worst thing about being a woman. Okay, the best thing about being a woman is being a woman. I think it's like being like I'm a woman. It's incredible. And the worst thing is like having to be afraid all the time, walking around here alone or any place.
Okay, is it realistic to think that nobody should ever feel unsafe?
If it's realistic, I don't know, but it's like my dream.
Well, I mean, here's the thing,
Realistically,
okay?
no.
Just because women feel afraid all the time, does that mean they really have a right to be afraid all the time?
Sure.
Well, at the same time, if a woman is attacked in public and a man is attacked in public, who is more likely to be rescued?
I don't know. I think. Sorry.
I guess you're afraid.
That's a post-trauma from my home.
Do you think men are the biggest threat to women, or are men the biggest protectors of women?
It can go either way,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, it's the good men out there that want to protect, but then there's also bad men that want to do terrible things. For the person that's assaulting, there's also a good guy that's there to save. Yeah.
But aren't most cops and soldiers men?
Yes.
What percentage of men that you encounter catcall you?
A lot.
Probably 85%.
Like we were just touched like multiple times just walking.
Some guy grabbed my nose about 20 minutes ago.
It is a pretty nose, I will give you that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Look at it from the side.
How often do you fear for your safety when a man catcalls you?
100%.
all the time.
I have never once in my life heard of a nigga grabbing another chick's nose. Is this something fucking new? I've heard of them slapping ass or grabbing tits, but I've never heard of somebody groping a nose.
Now, I'm not excusing it. Why is catcalling such a big deal?
I think catcalling is such a big deal because
Hi,
I'm not
Kanamba.
out here dressed like this. You can give a little pan of the outfit. This is not for others' view. This is for me, and this is what I feel most comfortable in. This is not an invitation for you to come objectify me or decide that this body.
That is a lie. I don't care how many times I hear it. If you're dressing up in these provocative outfits, you're looking for attention. You're literally trying to get attention. You can sit here and tell me that you're not. If you're not, then you need to realize the consequences that come with the actions that you do. There's always going to be a positive and negative reaction to the stuff that you do. And a negative would be guys looking at you, sexualizing you in this skimpy ass outfit.
Body is meant for you. It's mine.
Okay, and that's fair. I agree with that. Now, for a lot of women who say they dress for themselves, why do you often see women walking around in uncomfortable shoes and skimpy outfits when it's freezing outside?
Because I made that money, and I'm going to spend that money on some cute heels. And I worked on this body, and I'm going to show it off.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying if they were dressing for themselves, wouldn't they be comfortable?
Exactly.
I think that me in heels looks a lot better than me in just a pair of sweatpants.
Then you're doing it for attention. You just said you're doing it for looks.
Feel better, and that is still for me. Even if it's not the most comfortable, it feels good to me.
If a woman has lots of sexy photos on her dating profile and no bio, should she be surprised if guys are only contacting her for hookups?
Oh, absolutely.
No, not at all. I'm right back, so I get my food.
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Definitely not.
Why not?
Because she's kind of asking for that attention.
Is she not
A
promoting
woman
herself
that takes accountability. Oh my God, I love her.
in the same fashion if she's out walking the streets in a slutty outfit?
No.
So why would it make a difference if you're online or out in public?
Because you're posting those photos for like a specific dating
Yeah.
app while you're walking outside. It's like how you want to dress.
I dress this way because I want to dress this way for me and not for anyone else. And also, at least here, if you're going to a club, they have dress codes, and you have to dress a certain way in order to get in, and that is why we are dressed this way.
So why can people make assumptions about you online but not in person?
I think they can make assumptions about both, but online I feel like it kind of goes for more like what you post, because you can kind of choose what you want to post and what you don't want to post. Whereas in person, I guess you can choose what you want to wear and what you don't want to wear, but I don't know.
Why do you think women can't just ignore catcalling instead of just hating on all men?
Because when we ignore catcalling, they don't stop. Like they'll just come up to us and like be more in our face and more aggressive when we do ignore them.
I don't really think there's a way to win. There's been times when I can ignore it and they back off, or there's been times when I've confronted it and they back off, or vice versa. I don't say anything, I continue to get followed. I do say something, I put myself in even more danger. You really just have to gauge the situation, and there really is no right answer to what to do.
Is every time I go out, no matter how I look, someone is being inappropriate with me, and that's when it becomes an issue, because it is inappropriate. And I don't mind, like you say, inappropriate things happen every day. Like people either touching you or trying to get something from you. But when I can imagine that's why celebrities struggle being a celebrity status, because they are constantly hounded for attention. And that's how I feel when a guy whistles at me.
Right, but the fact that you bring
Don't
up
fucking
celebrities,
sit
right?
here and compare Rihanna to yourself. There's a difference. Like, you're mid, you're average. Rihanna's not. She's like high value woman. You can't sit here and compare the attention she's getting to the attention that you're getting. Shut up.
If you ask a celebrity, if you had to give up the
What
idea of being
dumbass
famous
knowledge is that? Like, that makes
in
no
order
sense.
to never ever deal with paparazzi, would they give up the privilege of being famous?
Probably not.
Would you give up the privilege of being sexy as fuck?
Does the way that you dress attract the type of attention you want?
No.
Not always.
Not always.
So is it fair to blame society, or is it better to just change your own behavior?
Probably, I don't know. I would say that society is the reason that a lot of the problems that we see with dating occur. However, I do think that there are ways for people to avoid them and or change their behavior accordingly. 100%.
I take the steps to make myself feel safer. I carry weapons to be able to protect myself. I learn how to ward off that attention. I've learned how to gauge the body language of, if I yell at this man for hitting on me, is he going to become dangerous or is he going to go away? I've learned how to understand that and figure out what to do in that situation.
And one last question, which I think you just touched upon. I ask, When does blaming society end and personal responsibility begin?
Personal accountability,
Whenever you're
bro.
ready to accept it. I think it's everyone's timeline. I don't think it's I'm going to get off social media and realize that I'm the problem. I think everyone, a part of them is like, no, the world's against me. And so it's whenever you're ready to accept that.
Yeah. You know what? In Israel, women are badasses. They can beat the shit out of guys. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, maybe more American women should serve in the army, and they'll know how to defend themselves.
Maybe more men needs to like not be attacking.
Well, I think we can do both.
Maybe.
I think we can do both. I don't condone the guys who do that.
Fuck rid of the pussy!
I can wear pants. I can wear a top that shows most of my body. And I continue to do so because of all the women who fought for that.
Nobody. If y'all literally fought to wear skimpier clothing, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But look, there's no problem with wearing provocative clothing. But there is a problem that you don't understand why you're getting the attention you're wearing when you're wearing something like that. It's not that we're mad that you're dressing sexy or skimpy. It's the fact that you're blaming men for the attention that you're getting when you know what you're doing. You know the demographic you're reaching with the clothes that you're wearing. Just take some accountability. That's all it is.
Women got the right to vote 102 years ago. That's it. There are women older than that on this planet who were not able to legally vote for the leadership in this country. We do this for them. We wear this shit for them. We do what we want. We have sex with whoever we want for them. Because we are still continuing to fight every single day. I am constantly hit on at my place of employment, my professional place.
How does having sex mean that you're empowered or free? Because that doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Most of the women back in the day, they didn't do fucking sex work because it was fun and easy and they wanted to get railed. They did it because it was the only means they had to make money. They didn't have a guy taking care of them because back then it was traditional values. Being a traditional woman or you failed. If you were a promiscuous woman, you got lashed, you got beat, or you got stoned. You can't do that now. All the rights that you women have now, and you're literally using them like this, is a disgrace.
Place of employment. I am treated like a child or like a sex object every single day of my life. And I'm going to
You're treated like a sex object because of the shit that you wear.
keep on fighting to make that not fucking happen, or to make that so that I can feel safe being able to look as I do and to be as young as I am and go out and be completely safe. And I'm going to keep on fighting for that.
Ay, caramba. Penis cabinet, Mr. Reflective views of the creator. Yes, sir.
What were some of the things that you were told about men while growing up?
It's a salad, Spike.
What I was told about men while I was growing up?
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. They weren't educated on men.
Yeah.
Not to get drunk around men.
Okay, so just like
Oh
don't
my
trust
God.
Yes.
Okay. Just a fun one.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself?
10.
I would definitely say a 10.
You're a 10?
Yeah, a 10, of course.
Does that mean that there's no room for improvement? Or?
No, always
Yes.
room for improvement, but I just feel that I have a lot to bring to the table, so yes.
If there was one thing you could improve about yourself, what would that be?
I'll say, I don't know. Me?
Yeah.
You're a 10, but there's always room for
Halfway
improvement. How the
mark.
fuck does that make sense?
5,
Where else do you
If
think
you
you
could
can improve?
improve one thing about yourself, what would it be?
My self-confidence.
So we're all 10s, pretty much.
Pretty much, put it that way. Okay.
Okay. If you're all 10s, does that mean like there's no room for improvement?
Yes.
Or like you're
Of
perfect?
course, you can always go to 20.
No, you.
Okay. If you were gonna improve like one thing about
If the
yourself,
scale is
what would
1 to 10, you can't go anywhere.
My anger.
it be? Your anger.
Yeah.
Being punctual, always late.
Functional. Okay. All right. Can you think of any time in recorded human history where women have had more power than they do right now?
Not at all.
No.
No.
Okay. Can you think of any countries other than Western countries like America, Australia, Canada, where women have more power than they do in those countries?
Maybe the Queen of Elizabeth, over there. I would say.
But I mean, probably not Asia.
London.
Probably not Asia or the Middle East or anything like that, right?
No.
Women are pretty. Okay. Why do you think so many women feel so oppressed in both the time and place where they have the most power?
That's touchy. That's gonna
Right?
go, that's gonna go political.
Woo.
Because there's still like a lot of men who don't see the value of women.
Okay.
So it feels like we're always constantly having to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
What do you think is the difference between confidence and arrogance?
Ooh, your attitude.
Your attitude.
How you
Okay.
carry yourself. I was just having a conversation with my girls tonight about like wearing something like this. It brings a lot to light because I still want to be viewed a certain way and not be viewed a certain way, if that makes any sense.
It makes no sense.
Right?
No, I don't know what it means. Okay. Do you think that your partner's past body count matters in dating?
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but does it?
Not all the time.
Personally,
Yes, it
it
does.
has affected me because an ex got a little crazy when I told him mine. But other than, yeah, I think because my number was better than his.
Well, here's the thing, right?
It's not
If
even
it
about
doesn't
your number
matter,
being
why
better.
do
Men
so
don't
many
want a
people
promiscuous
insist on
woman. We don't want a woman that every guy's had a turn in. That doesn't make any sense.
keeping it a secret.
Because the opinion of a person.
Well, right, but what's there?
Girls are attracted to experience. Guys are attracted to inexperience. Girls fall in love with what they hear. Guys fall in love with what they see.
To hide if there's no
It's just personal, like.
Because you don't want to be judged. You don't want to come off being judged about something that had nothing to do with them before then.
I get that, but I'm saying the fact that you might be
your social security number.
the fact that you
I can tell you, but why? I want that to myself.
right, but isn't the fact that people feel judged by that, doesn't that mean that it shouldn't matter, but it often does?
Yes.
So it does matter.
Not to me.
I'm not saying it okay, but I'm
In
just saying
general,
it,
yes, it does matter.
to some people it actually does matter.
For the majority, it does matter. Where
Do you think men and women can be just friends?
Yes.
No.
So if you asked your best straight
No.
single male friend if he'd date you or hook up, what do you think he would say?
Yes.
So you can't be friends.
You're right.
But you can.
I retract that.
But you can, but usually it's the woman who sets the boundaries,
If
right?
you're not attracted to the person, you can be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
No, you can't.
each of you.
No man is becoming a female girl's friend if he doesn't think he has the smallest chance to fuck. It's not possible.
If you asked your best straight single male friend if he'd date you or hook up, what do you think he would say?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then you can't be
Then you
friends.
can't be friends.
You can't, but you
You just have
can.
to know your boundaries.
You-
Well, right, but who
Like,
typically?
I have a best friend for 10 years, and we've never
Right.
slept together.
Who's the
Same.
one who typically sets the boundaries in the relationship, the man or the woman?
Both.
I say
definitely
both, but
say
definitely the
him.
female.
Me and him.
Is it both or is it one is it the female?
I
It's
really
the
say
woman.
the female because
Yeah.
as soon as he makes that move, she's like, okay, I gotta back up because you're catching feelings.
Okay. So who
you know.
typically sets the boundaries in the relationship? The man or the woman?
Women.
The women.
Yes,
do stuff. Do
women,
you think
of
that gives
course.
them an advantage in relationships?
Yes, yeah, I'll say that. Because, I mean, if you're setting boundaries, then I guess you can let them have a little bit, of advantage. Yes.
Why do you think women want equality in everything except for dating?
I'll say so they can just have a more diagnonic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Dumbass.
Was there anything in your experience dealing with men that came as a surprise to you?
Yeah, they're horn dogs.
The horn dogs, okay. Interesting.
No one tells you that.
Well, I mean, okay.
You figured that out.
Okay.
It's gonna be fucking
So
self-explanatory.
if men are just natural horn dogs,
Yeah.
why do you think women don't typically approach men? I mean, because pretty much, I mean, wouldn't that make sense? I mean,
Right.
any guy you know
Right.
that you go approach would probably be down, right?
Right?
So why are men typically the ones that approach women?
Interesting. I just think that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. What's that based on?
Probably my values growing up, because I was not allowed to chase boys or call boys. They had to pursue me, and they had to meet my dad first. It's very hard.
Do you think religion and politics matter in dating?
Yes. No.
No. Okay.
I
Why
don't
do
think
you-
that should define a relationship.
Okay. So.
Love is love.
Well, let me ask you this though. You don't think it does, but I mean, most women probably wouldn't date a guy who was a Trump supporter, or they wouldn't date a guy who was a
A Christian wouldn't date an atheist.
right. or a vegan probably.
So it does matter.
Right.
Religion does matter. Politics do matter in relationships.
Right. I mean, I actually think it matters a lot
Yes,
because
of course,
because
yeah.
you know, I mean, like there are some
You
people
can,
I know.
you can have somebody that's Christian and have somebody that's atheist, and then like the spirituality doesn't match because like, what if I believe in God and they don't believe in God? So I feel that's very important.
So why do you think that? A lot of people will say don't discuss politics or religion on a first date when it seems to be the first thing that you would want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that maybe because they don't want it like to be too much drama all at first. That's probably why, and they just want to keep it because that's those hard topics to really go into. Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you love somebody, it's because you love them because of who they are, not for what they do or what they stand for.
Do you think unconditional love is possible in a romantic relationship?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I believe it's possible, but why do we have a term called deal breakers?
Deal breakers. Ooh. Because people tend to find the, how do you say it? The defects of other people. I don't know, los defectos en español, sorry. Of other people, because they try to. I think because sometimes, like, there just needs to be some drama that people want to cause.
Spit it out!
But I don't think it should be, like, a problem with it, honestly. Like,
Fuck!
because if you're going to love somebody, like, I really hope somebody loves me the way I am without having to force me to change, So if I'm going to ever love somebody, I don't know. I'm sorry. Did I lose myself?
No, it's okay. We'll move to a different question.
Okay.
Do you think men are socialized to protect and provide for women?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so they're raised that way. Do you think some men go as far as putting women up on a pedestal?
Yes.
Some men.
Yeah.
Okay. If all that is true, why are there so many women who are angry at men? Aren't those all good qualities?
But what makes you think women are angry at men?
Because a lot of men are kind
A
of
lot of y'all
demonized
say
for
we
being
hate men?
cheaters
The
and
fuck?
liars and players and
No, it goes both ways.
toxic
Goes
masculinity.
both ways.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
But
like,
you basically a generalization of
Well, I'm
men
saying
is
there's
cheaters
there's
and
a term called
womanizers.
toxic masculinity. There's no
Sure.
term called toxic femininity.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, why do you think a term like that exists when
Right.
most men are socialized to protect and provide for women and put them on pedestals and be gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
I think that's the way it used to be, and hopefully we're trying to continue those types of standards for our boys. But I do see society, unfortunately, has changed a lot of that.
Do you think society's getting like what about society's changing? Like what?
Oh, first of all, you don't date. Everything's online.
Okay.
Everything's online, and I don't date. I'm married, but from my friends, you don't meet up and have a beer and have a date. You are online and you text, and then it usually goes to sexting or wanting nude pictures of you very quickly.
So
I've experienced, even married, where I've had that, and I'm like, whoa.
Do you think there's a difference between what women say that they want in a relationship and what they actually respond to?
Yes, there's a difference.
So how can you trust a woman's dating advice?
How can I how can you
A lot
trust
of
women's
people say that they want a nice guy, but then they'll go and date the bad boy.
Yeah.
So
Ignoring the nice guy
if
right in front of
women
them.
aren't backing up what they say that they want with their actions, doesn't that mean it's kind of hard to take women seriously when they say they want certain things?
I think relationships are something that if it's a mutual feeling, both people will want to work towards it. If it's just like
If you're completely denying what you want in your head and going for the opposite, that's not a mutual understanding because you're literally pulling yourself to somebody that doesn't have any of the preferences or values that you want. You want a guy that you can work on. You don't want a guy that treats you like a king and puts you on a pedestal right there because that is boring. You want a guy that you can work on and be toxic because it's fun to y'all, which makes no fucking sense. You preach on one side that you want communication and more openness with the guy emotionally, but when that guy is in front of your face and willing to do that, you don't want that guy.
women like to say like, oh no, do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, we still want you to do what we want. Like I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I can tell a guy like, oh, you don't have to get. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have to get me flowers, but at the end of the day, I'll still want flowers, because women don't like to ask for things. So, going back to your question. I'm not saying you shouldn't trust women. You should. But men should, put the effort. Women like to see effort. At the end of the day, it's all about effort.
Okay.
Right?
Now, as far as
I don't want to ask somebody
okay.
for flowers.
Okay.
Effort goes both ways, though. Like, a guy showing his effort usually is with money and expensive gifts, okay? So whenever he's showing that he actually does care for you and love you, what are you doing for that man? What are you providing for him? Are you taking care of him? Because I don't see that shit. Effort goes both ways. Showing, even the small stuff matters as much as like a card to a nigga. A nigga would love that. Or even doing something like his lunch before he goes to work. Like, we're not, nigga, us guys are difficult. We're pretty easy. Just love us, suck our dicks, and at least show us that you care sometimes. That's all we need.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? Do you think that it's true that women often find...
Spike, these women are making me go crazy,
Do you think
bro.
it's true that women often find attractive men cute and romantic when an ugly one doing the exact same thing is creepy?
Yes.
So then why do women complain about guys not willing to make an effort? All right, let me ask this. When single women dress sexy and wear makeup, are they seeking attention?
Yes.
Not always.
Not always, but I mean,
Yeah.
Generally, I think you probably are. I mean, that's just human nature.
Okay. Are they seeking attention from other women, men, or the right man?
I think they're seeking some validation.
Validation, okay. And there's a lot of women who say, I dress a certain way for myself, right?
Right.
My question is, if women are dressing for themselves, why do you often see women walking around in uncomfortable shoes and skimpy dresses when it's freezing cold outside?
I don't do that.
I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying are those women dressing for themselves if they're walking around with uncomfortable shoes and no. So they're dressing for attention, right?
Maybe. But again,
freezing wearing skimpy outfits.
I don't understand that. How can I get the idea of looking good, because there are times where like even if I want to look good though, I'll put on like my jeans, my Jordans, and something. It's still comfortable to me. It's still something that I'm comfortable wearing. It's not that it don't hurt my fucking thighs. It don't hurt my shoes. Don't hurt my feet type shit. But with tons of women, I've seen them go in heels or them go in dresses that are too tight for them. So if you're not doing it for male validation, what are you doing it for? Because you're not doing it for yourself. At least whenever a guy says he puts on chains and nice clothes, he's doing it to get more attention from females so he can fuck. That's accountability. That's being honest. Why can't y'all do the same thing?
Or like wearing really uncomfortable shoes. I mean, they can't be dressing for themselves because otherwise they'd be comfortable, and they don't look very comfortable. So what do you think about that?
Not to mention, if y'all were dressing for yourselves, alright? If y'all were dressing for yourselves, y'all be in y'all Fashion Nova dresses at the house, you'd be all dolled up at the house, and you're not. I've seen girls look fantastic going outside, but as soon as they get home, they look like one of the guys. So, I don't want to hear that it's for yourself. You're not doing that for yourself, because if you're doing it for yourself, you'd go out all scummy looking. I've gone outside not caring what I look like in my fucking pajamas. So don't tell me that you don't care what you look like when you're getting all dolled up.
I think a lot of women say that they dress for themselves, but they're really not dressing for themselves.
I think it's like subconsciously dressing for others, but like they're like, oh I'm just dressing for myself. Yeah.
Right. Do you think there's a difference between what women say that they want and what they actually respond to?
Yeah.
Yes. So can you trust a woman's dating advice?
Depends.
Well, I'm just saying.
Probably not. Probably not.
No, you can't.
I don't know. I mean, every woman's different. Some women choose to wear high heels every day of their...
No, there's definitely exceptions to every rule, but do you think generalizing is always wrong?
Generalizing is wrong.
Is it always wrong?
No.
Now you're making me think about words that you're using.
Well, don't women typically want to date men taller than them? Is that a generalization?
Yes.
Men? Yes. Yeah.
Women typically want to date a man
yes.
taller than them, right?
Typically, yes.
So that's a generalization. So
it must be yes.
So generalizing is not always wrong.
It's not, right?
It's not always wrong. There's certain patterns.
Yeah.
Do you guys like hip hop music?
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of women like hip hop music. Why do you think so many women like hip hop music when so much of it is degrading to women?
Degrading to women.
That don't make no fucking sense.
all that, like.
Yeah, or just like bitches,
see,
bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks.
Yeah,
you know. Why do so many women, why do they listen to that music if it's degrading to women?
I think it's different now in 2020. I think now women listen more to female rappers, female singers.
Like Cardi
like
B?
Cardi B,
That-
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh my god.
So
I think people are trying to normalize that.
That's
but it shouldn't
even
be
worse
normalized
because
we still-
they're it's like it's not wrong to sexualize your body, but it's wrong when it's the demographic that you're going for, man. Like you know who you're talking to. You shouldn't feel female empowerment from somebody saying, my bottom wet ass pussy. Like that's not empowering. That's just, in my opinion, that's gross. Like I don't want to hear about that in a song. Like there are rap music. There are a bunch of songs that talk about bitches this and hoes that and tricks this, but you can't generalize those things. Not to mention, for hip-hop, that's been the largest demographic, is mostly turning the slurs and stuff that we use on women into lyrics. So I get that. I understand that. But it's the fact that y'all are glorifying being sex objects and then asked to not be a sex object. You can't get both. You can't get your cake and eat it too.
Do have a lot of problems going on with sex trafficking, with women being raped. Men also can get raped. I'm not saying they can't, but it's a very popular thing towards women being harassed when they're younger. So
I'm going to ask you, can I ask you a rape question? It's a controversial question, but I want to ask you, and just go with me on this because it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine a woman jogging through a park and some drunken homeless guy just, attacks her and rapes her and stuff, right?
Okay.
I think we can all agree that that is criminal, that is a terrible thing, and that guy should be, prosecuted, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a difference between that alcohol-fueled rape and consensual sex under the influence of alcohol?
Oh.
is there a difference?
Yes.
Oh.
Between that alcohol-fueled rape that I just described
That's an interesting question.
versus consensual sex under the influence of alcohol. Is there a difference between those two situations?
yes, there is.
Okay, there is.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Because I know a lot. Consensual sex, like even if you're drunk,
and you say yes, it could still.
I'd say no. For the sheer fact that alcohol makes you looser and it coerces your decision-making skills.
A lot of women.
But there are cases where people have been drunk and they don't lack critical thinking skills. Like I've been drunk, like insanely drunk, to where like I haven't made wrong decisions about fucking going to beat somebody up or robbing somebody. So it's not that alcohol, it does alter your decision making, but it's not to an excessive point that you don't permanently know what's going on. So honestly, I feel like it would really depend on the person. That's not really something you can generalize.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm guessing like when they do that, it's because they're drunk, and I understand they're drunk. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, whatever, but that shouldn't be like. Even if you said yes when you were drunk, like it shouldn't matter. It does matter. Wait, I don't want to say it shouldn't matter.
It matters.
It matters, but just because you were drunk, that's not an excuse. You know what you're doing. You have control over your body, over your mind, and when it comes to somebody jogging and getting raped, then that's different.
Well, because they have no control over that. But here's my ultimate question: why are women typically held accountable for their own actions when they drive drunk, but not when they have drunk sex?
When they drive drunk, but not when they have drunk sex. Do y'all know this?
Why are women
my
typically held
God.
accountable for their own decisions when they drive drunk, but not when they have drunk sex?
Maybe because the way our society works.
Because they got 7 different bitches' mindsets in their head, and they're fucking, the one didn't crash, Tammy did. The fuck?
Women are always seen as lesser than men. It has been like that all the time.
They are judged more than men.
If a woman...
They're only judged more than men if they're promiscuous, my nigga. Like, if you're I hate to say it, but if you're like a stripper, an OnlyFans model, or like a porn star, then yes, you're gonna get judged by a large majority of the men that you go for, or the large majority of men that watch your content or see you. Yes, you get judged more. But if you're a regular average woman, you are getting approached on the basis of you're hot and we want sex. They're not judging you based on your personality and all this other crap.
It's true. We both know it. No, I'm not saying you think like that. But a lot of, in the society that we live in, like, people see women as less than men. And it's normal. We all understand that. So when a woman is becoming powerful, and
If we're really going to get in this, and in a political point, y'all have more rights than most men do. I'd argue that. Like, if we're talking about paternity court, y'all, women win most of the time just because you guys have a vagina between your legs and you're a mother. The only way a guy actually wins is if he's financially stable. So don't sit here and say that you're being degraded and you're being looked down upon when you guys have more rights than us.
and wants to stand up for herself, that's when the people start responding back because they don't do that. They don't know how to control it because they don't see
They're
a woman.
scared. They're
Okay,
scared.
follow me on this question, okay? Can you think of any time in recorded human history where women have more power than they have right now?
No!
No.
No. Can you think of any countries other than Western countries like America, Canada, Australia, where women have more power than they do in those countries?
Nope!
Yes.
The Middle East? No.
No, not the
Southeast
Middle
Asia?
East.
No. So any Western countries?
No.
No. So why do women feel so oppressed in both the time and place where women have the most power?
Because either way, at the end of the day, they're women. And women, no matter what we do, women are always going to be seen as less than men. At the end of the day. Because it's just the society that people have normalized up until this day. And unfortunately, it's the truth. Like, I've personally gone through it. Like,
Society didn't normalize looking down on women. Society normalized womanizing women. They normalized traditional housewives. So whenever you think of a wife, or even when I was a child and I thought of a wife, I thought of traditional roles. I thought of the wife taking care of the kids, cleaning, doing laundry, such and such, and the guys going out working, providing for the home and the house and stuff like that. Providing for your kids, providing for your well-being. That's what we grew up on. And not to, just to mention that, this is what years and years and years of human evolution has done for us. We've literally been doing the same thing for a multitude of years. So you can't sit here and say that you're being looked upon when you have the most rights any woman has ever had. You guys are literally the freest. You are the freest version of females we've ever had in history. So I don't understand why you feel like you're being looked down upon and degraded. That doesn't make any sense when you have all these assets that you can benefit to.
Do you think my people, like my clients, respect me as much as they respect the men officers? They don't. Even as much as they try to do that, they don't do it because I'm a girl.
We're complicated. So I think you kind of just have to roll with the punches and be willing to be flexible. Because women are naturally just complicated.
Okay, why do you think women are naturally complicated?
We're all very different. It's just, I don't know if I could give you a good answer on that, but we are.
What is the incentive to get married?
Well, different from a
I don't know. I don't want to be married.
You don't want to get married? Do you want to get married?
I do.
You want to get married?
Yes.
Will you marry me? No.
Sure.
Okay, no.
When it benefits... Ooh, okay. Last one.
What would you think would be the best and worst thing about being a woman?
The best thing about being a woman is you have tits, and you actually have like a lot more opportunity. So like, if there's like opportunity for like using your body and stuff like that, like guys don't have that opportunity. Like girls don't like seeing your dick. Guys like seeing your tits, so I think that's a bonus. Worst thing about being a woman is they're not funny at all. I think their jokes are shit. If they think that they're funny, they're probably like 1 out of 10 funny. Funny to their friends.
Girls are powerful. Girls are strong. Girl boss. You can do whatever you want. Be a strong woman.
Okay. Are beautiful women more privileged or disadvantaged by their looks?
Privileged.
Both.
Okay, well, they're definitely both, but
So thank you for asking that.
well, let me ask you this. I mean, there's definitely disadvantages, but I mean, if the privileges didn't outweigh the disadvantages, would any woman ever bother getting plastic surgery?
Well, see, that's the thing. I had a reduction of my breasts. They're still large, and I still get too much attention, and that's why I got rid of them. But being attractive, you still always get attention from men, and I don't know how to say you don't want it because you don't want it, but then you do want it, right?
Right. Well, let me ask this. Would you be willing to give up the occasional unwanted attention, catcalling, harassment, if it meant you never got any attention whatsoever or special treatment from men?
Exactly. That's the whole key, because exactly, I hate the attention, but then when I feel unattractive and I don't get the attention, it's like, I don't love that either.
So wouldn't that be like saying I want to be a celebrity, but I never want to deal with paparazzi?
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying, isn't that like saying I want all the privileges without any of the accountability that comes with it?
Exactly.
Well, isn't that having your cake and eating it too?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, but is that fair?
No, and that's what I hate about all of it, because that's what's so hard about raising
Who gave her the
a
mic?
child too. Where
Who
I'm like,
gave her the mic?
It's not about looks, and
If there was one thing you wish men understood better about women, what would it be?
I would say the fact that there really is an orgasm gap, and men need to understand that and realize that when you have sex, guys are probably going to get off, but girls, it's a lot harder for us to do that. So they need to understand that and own that.
Why do women expect men to be good in bed if getting laid is such a hard thing for men to acquire?
What are they?
Because pussy rules the world.
But that.
Why do women?
That doesn't. You just answered your own fucking question. It doesn't make any sense. If pussy rules the world, then that would technically mean that since you have a vagina, that you have leverage. Okay? If you have a leverage, then it's not as easy for a man to get sex as is where for a girl can walk out. It doesn't matter if she's an ugly girl, she can still get railed.
Often talk about
if you're an ugly guy, you gotta make up for it in other means, whether it be money or status, my nigga. You're not getting laid if you don't have one of those.
They secretly run the world, but then also complain about how they're so oppressed.
Yeah, that I don't get, because I don't think women secretly run the world. I think we're girl bosses when we want to be.
Oh, God.
Of course. But no, we don't run the world.
Some women complain about the fact that we live in a man's world, because how hard it is to live in a man's world, because we try to. They don't give us enough credit. That's true. I agree. They don't give us enough credit.
How much is enough credit? Like, what do you want men to do that they're not doing already?
I feel like.
Yeah, there we go again. I feel like
Ask the question again.
You mentioned that men don't give women enough credit, so I'm asking, like, what specifically are you not getting from men that you want, like, as far as credit? Like, what do you want?
As far as, men hold us a title to things. Like, we only supposed to, be at home and do only cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. And it's actually women that can go out here and do the same thing that men do, So I just feel like they hold us a title. Our title is so low. But without us, they wouldn't know what to do. They would not know what to do. And I feel like...
Know what to do as far as what?
Like how us women can take different things and put it together as far as meal-wise, like cooking and cleaning and watching the kids. You cannot find a man that can do all that.
You telling me a nigga can't cook? I can cook. What? What are we talking about, bro? Any nigga can cook. You can go on YouTube and learn how to. The fuck? It's actually, and too, statistically wise, a single father household is better off than a single female household. So that's false too.
But hold on, I mean, aren't there are men who are chefs and there are men who, are single dads. So I mean, it is possible.
That's true, but with a woman, it's gonna come natural. With that man, he's gonna ask questions.
Do you think?
So asking questions comes with life. It's a process to learning. That's the dumbest thing I ever. You don't just go in a kitchen and instantly know how to cook. You have to ask questions. That's why you talk to your mother or you watch your mother cook. You still ask her, Ma, how do you measure out this for the broth or the soup or some shit, my nigga? Like, you don't just fucking go in there and do it. You have to learn. You learn by asking questions.
I think they're more privileged by their looks, 100%. I think a look can take a girl a long way.
Yes.
I think the way that a girl uses her looks can bring her a far way in life, 100%.
Yes.
Does a woman's level of physical attractiveness affect her behavior and potential for status?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I think some girls might get ahead of themselves. They might get egotistical about it. Some ways that they might act, if they're better looking, they might think that they're
If girls couldn't get ahead on their looks, pretty privilege wouldn't be a thing.
Might look for things that are better, which is obviously good because if you're a good-looking guy, you probably look for the same thing.
We literally get paid to take pictures with people.
Right, we get free rides, stuff like that.
Free ride,
free drinks, stuff, small
daily. I get
being
free
pretty.
stuff daily, free weed, free everything. You can ask me to get anything, I'll get it for free. I don't have to give up vagina. I don't have to kiss nobody. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to work. I literally make my rent off taking pictures of people. I really walk down the street. I get hella free rides, hella free shit. I literally just got paid $200 to sweep and mop a house today, just because I was pretty. And men just don't get that.
Right.
But a man can be cute as fuck.
Well, tell me this then. With all those privileges that you just listed, that so many women, have access to, why do you think there are so many women who complain about just how difficult it is to be a woman in our society?
Because bitches are.
I feel like women think that it's hard to be, to be in our society. Oh, never mind.
No, yeah, bitches are just hella we're spoiled. I went to a crab shack today, and I'm used to having people open my crab for me, and I literally had to open my own legs, and I was like, what the fuck? We're just so spoiled. We get everything we want whenever we want.
You shouldn't have to open your legs. You should be able to keep your legs closed.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
I'm
always
just
keep
kidding.
my legs. I get everything.
Your crab legs, not your legs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. Okay.
They don't take them seriously because they looking at the fact that they are
Why do
beautiful
they
and they're
find
not
these
understanding
women,
that
bro?
they also have a brain. They're not understanding that they also have something to contribute as far as knowledge-wise. You're looking at them having beauty and you're not realizing that they have more to offer
Okay,
than just
but
beauty.
here's the thing, okay? There are definitely disadvantages. I will agree with you on that.
Mhm.
But if beautiful women were not more privileged, would any woman ever bother getting plastic surgery?
You have a point. You have
So
a
the
point.
privileges absolutely outweigh the disadvantages.
Mhm.
Yes.
You're
and
right.
who's more likely to get plastic surgery, men or
Women.
women? Women. Okay,
Mhm.
so obviously a woman. Okay, so let me ask you this: does a woman's level of physical attractiveness affect her behavior and potential for status?
Yes.
It
I
does.
think-
How?
Because, so the reason why is because men have a shallow mindset. Now, I'm not talking down on men because we need men as well. We need women and we need men. We need a balance. But they have a shallower mindset, I feel like, and a lot of times the actual physical view is more important to them than the mental view.
Well, what they say is men fall in love with their eyes, women fall in love with their ears. Do you ever hear that expression?
Yes, I agree
Okay.
with that expression.
Okay. Now here's the thing, okay? Would you agree that men objectify women sexually?
Yes.
Okay. Would you also agree that women also tend to objectify men financially?
Yes.
Okay, because men are success objects, women are sex objects, women are beauty objects.
Correct.
Is it harder to create or to maintain value?
Is it harder to create or maintain value?
I'd say create.
I feel like they're both equally obtainable. They're equally obtainable.
Is the pressure greater on men to be successful or on women to be beautiful?
I'll say definitely that's equal.
Man.
That's equal.
Well, don't men...
Nope, it's not equal actually. Because a woman, she mostly just has to provide sex for you for the most part.
Well, don't men typically have to create their success while women just have to maintain their beauty? I mean, are men typically born with the muscles, money, and status that attract most women?
Hell no.
Not every man, because even me, I was pretty thin, malnutrition. So not every man, but the select few definitely.
So then aren't women born with inherent value while men have to create their value from scratch?
Are women born with value? And
I mean,
men-
aren't your average man is more likely to find your average woman attractive than your average woman will find your average man attractive? Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Now,
Okay, so aren't women born with, the natural assets that attract most men, but men aren't typically born with the natural assets that attract most women?
Yeah, because for the most part, if a woman throws some coochie, she throws some little head at you, then she's going for the most part win.
If all women should be considered beautiful, does that mean that all men can be successful?
All women, no, that definitely would not be able to happen. Definitely.
Right, but we do say that all women are beautiful, so why don't we say that all men are successful?
I guess, yeah, it's not fair.
It's because guys live in a realistic point of view. Like, we know that not all of us can be successful, but if we put the work towards it, then we can be.
It's not equal. It's a
not
double
fair at
standard.
all.
How do nightclubs get away with charging men a higher admission fee than women? Isn't that sexist?
Oh, I agree. I
Yes.
always wondered, like, why women get in for free. Like, I think that is definitely a double standard.
I definitely agree. And I think like there should be a men's night as well, instead like women's are normally Thursdays, right? And I think there should be a men's night as well.
Okay, and so if private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
Ooh, see, that's hard because, yeah.
I just don't think you can base wage of worth ethic.
It's because you don't think that a double standard is necessary if it doesn't affect you. That is exactly why.
On gender.
I don't think it's sexist. I think the fact that girls can get in more keeps it from being a sausage fest. I know all guys would want to go to the club and they'd want to have more girls there than guys. So
I feel like it attracts more guys when they see hot females. So it's a marketing tactic. if
I can see
anything,
that.
So it makes sense.
I can see
Don't
that.
you think
that
women
would
would
make more
complain
sense
if they
for
were the
more
ones
money.
expected to pay more?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think if I was a man, I would probably be a little bit upset about that too, to be completely honest.
If private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
Yeah, but here's the thing: most men don't fucking care because we already know that one, there are women. It's girls' night, so there's gonna be a bunch of women at the club, and two, we don't care if we have to pay a little extra if we're gonna get a chance to get some ass. Just being perfectly honest.
That is a good question. I think that it comes down to accountability on all parts, right?
The fuck do you know about
we
accountability?
Recognize that there's a problem in equality with men and women, and whether that's women benefiting getting into clubs for free or men benefiting getting paid more, I think that
The wage gap is a myth!
conversation starts with us admitting that there's a problem and everybody owning it. Like, let's live in this
God,
world
bro.
together as equals, and both sides need to step up to the table and do the work that it takes to be recognized.
So why do the people who say they want equality only complain about the double standards that don't benefit them?
Can you elaborate on that more?
Well, I'll just repeat the question.
What?
So why do the people who say they want equality only complain about the double standards that don't benefit them?
I don't know. I would say I'm someone who is for equality. And like I said, like last night, like we were able to get into clubs for free and do a lot of things that guys probably wouldn't be able to do. But we're here advocating for equality on both sides. So I think it really depends on the person you talk to.
Well, how likely are you going to see a woman at a club saying, "In the name of fairness, I demand that you charge me full price"?
Exactly. Like they're not. Like if you were advocating for gender equality, then you wouldn't even be going to girls' night. You wouldn't be getting into the club for free. You would go there, talk to the manager, and be like, "Yo, I think girls' night should not be a thing. This is not equality."
I mean,
So you can't sit here and preach equality when you were just reaping the benefits last night. Shut
that
up.
question. Like, you're not going to see a man who's getting paid $100,000 a year compared to a woman who's getting paid $75,000 a year. You're not going to see that guy demanding that she gets paid the equal amount. So I feel like that flips on both sides.
But don't you see men going to women's marches, supporting women's issues?
I think on and off. I think it depends on.
So aren't there already men out there like kind of fighting for equality for women?
Yes.
Why are you more likely to see men fighting for women's issues than you see women fighting for men's issues?
Men fight.
Honestly, this is my opinion. Most of the time, you see a guy going to a rally supporting men's issues. They're just trying to get laid. Like, really, bro. Like, because most of the time I've talked to these guys, bro, they never have a substantial basis on why they're there. It's never for actual equality. They were there because some hot chick's there or some girl they know asked them to come that they're trying to smash.
For women's issues, do they?
Well, don't men go to women's marches and identify as feminists?
I've never seen it.
There are
What
plenty.
do you mean you've never seen it? What?
You never seen a man at a woman's march?
No.
You never seen a male
We're in the age of the internet. You can see damn near almost anything.
feminist?
I've heard of it, but I would love to see it. Yay!
Why don't women just start identifying as men to get higher pay, and men start identifying as women in order to get free drinks at ladies' nights?
At the rate American it wouldn't surprise me.
Right, literally.
Gender pay gap, I think, like I said before, girls have equal opportunity. I think there's a lot of ways that girls can make pay other ways, other than like jobs and stuff. There's a lot of like other places, like
Literally.
good looking, whatever. They can make like a lot more money somewhere, like in other places.
Shit, I just found out the other day that if you want to work at Hooters, you send in a picture of yourself, almost like a photo shoot. That's why they can get away with not hiring you if you're ugly.
So I think.
Okay, does the fact that OnlyFans exist prove that women are okay being objectified as long as they're getting paid?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think there's a double standard there, because it's like a lot of girls that say, oh, like they're like all this, and they're like, oh, like all about like feminism, whatever, blah blah, and that they're like super important. But then they put themselves out there, and they think like, oh, I'm gonna show my body, all that shit, and like you're basically putting yourself there and saying like, I'm basically like not all that, not all.
Yeah,
that
literally.
If private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
There's not a gender pay cap. That's complete bullshit.
I fucking love
Is
this chick.
sexism only bad when it happens to women?
No, definitely not, because like sexism can go both ways. It's the same
Oh.
with racism. Like not only white people can be racist to black people can also be racism to white people. So it's like I think it can go both ways.
Is sexism only bad when it happens to women?
I don't really know a guy that cares if sexism
Exactly.
happens. So
Exactly.
yes and no, but I don't think I think every guy currently is like, yeah, bring it.
A man can give you a house, but a woman gives you a home. A man can give you, I don't know what we can say on this, but a man can give you sperm, but a woman can give you a child. A man can give anything that a man gives a woman, we make it greater.
Actually, technically, the man gives you the child. You just fertilize it in your egg. And two, you wouldn't have a home if he didn't purchase the house.
You can give us anything, we will make it greater. You can give us groceries, we will make a meal.
Anybody can cook, bro. One of the best chefs in the world is a man, Gordon Ramsay. So don't. Oh my
You can
God.
you can give us a vehicle, and we make a trip.
Why aren't y'all mechanics then, huh? Why aren't y'all mechanics then? Give you a vehicle. Yeah, y'all pull up to the shop to get your car fixed. You're not changing your tire by yourself.
That wasn't that good.
Who is responsible for pregnancy, the man or the woman?
Both?
Okay. Why do women claim to be the creators of life when the child is wanted, but when the pregnancy is unplanned, it suddenly becomes the man's fault for not wearing a condom?
I don't have that mentality, so I can't relate.
Right. I mean, it's both consensual. You know, you literally let a guy go inside you, knowing that the possibility is.
Yeah,
it's
I
possible,
don't
so.
think like that. So
Men are probably more responsible than women as far as birth is concerned, because a man can impregnate one woman. A man can impregnate 9 women within 1 month. A woman can only be pregnant one time within 1 month. So honestly, I feel like birth control should be in a man's hands. That's just my opinion.
Okay, but don't women ultimately decide who gets sex and who gets born?
Yeah.
That's correct. We ultimately decide who gets sex and who gets born, but a man can impregnate 9 women in 1 day.
have to say at the end of the day, it will be the woman, me personally, because she has to make the decision. Should she either keep the baby or abort the baby?
Yeah.
Well, aren't women ultimately the ones who decide who gets sex and who gets born?
Yes.
For the most part, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Why do women claim to be the creators of life when the child is wanted, but when the pregnancy is unplanned, it suddenly becomes the man's fault for not wearing a condom?
This goes back to the first segment. A lot of women don't want to take accountability for their own actions. That's the truth.
Oh, banger video. I ain't gonna lie.